Hey, good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Um, we're just gonna wait for everybody to get on the call and get started, but um, just wanted to check in to see how everything's going for you. I know you're just kind of getting started, but you should be getting leads now and all that. How's everything been working?
Yeah, so I had like some technical difficulties at first with the app in my phone. I think like one of the settings wasn't right, like in my phone's actual settings. But I did get a lead last night that I'm gonna try to get on the phone this morning.
Okay, so let's talk about that really quick. So as far as the life cycle of a lead, as soon as you get that lead, the best time to get them is within the first like 2 to 3 minutes that you get the call, because that's when they're usually like in front of a computer or they're looking at their phone or whatever and they're talking about the property or they're looking at the property. So you want to get them as soon as possible. And sometimes you'll have leads that come in late at night, which is it is what it is, and you just want to capture them as soon as you can. So make sure you're staying on your leads. And then let's say if they don't answer, you'll want to set yourself a follow-up to call them. So like she came in last night or that lead came in last night, you'll call them this morning. They don't answer. You'll follow up in the afternoon, in the evening, so on and so forth. And you really want to tackle them as much as you can for the first 3 days.
Okay, yeah, I
That's really critical.
got the lead and then I went to set up confirm the showing time through the MLS, and then I had to contact the listing agent, and the property isn't even listed anymore. So I kind of like don't know how I go about like discussing that without the person being like, "Oh, well, I don't need you because I can't even see the house."
Yeah, so there's always going to be your one-offs, right? Where the property is not listed or it expired or whatever the case may be. So in that particular situation, you're saying that the agent, the listing is no longer on the market.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you spoke to the agent. What did the agent say?
The listing agent just said that it's no longer on the market, and that was it.
Oh, okay. So I would want to know more. That way, the more detail you can give your client, the better chances that you're going to be able to retain them. So I would have been like, oh, okay. So what happened? Did it expire or is it sold or is it under contract? That way you can clarify. Because if it's under contract and it has a possibility of coming back on market, you may be able to show or say, hey, you know what? We'll keep that in our back pocket and we'll take a look at some other ones, give them options. But you're right. Sometimes if you don't have anything to say except it's just not available, more than likely you're going to lose that client. So the more detail you can get, the better from the listing agent.
Okay.
All right. All right, that was a good little impromptu training, but just make sure you're staying on top of your leads and get as many as you can. And the more details you get, the better off you're going to be. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. All right. So for today, what I wanted to do is talk about goals for the year. Um, So while I have everybody, I'm just going to run through that really quickly. So, Sean, you're first since I see uh, your photo here at the top left. So, what are your goals for this year?
You want GCI or transactions?
Just transaction amount.
25 to 30.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I told you. I told you last time. I think we had this conversation 25, but it just depends on the GCI. So I'm really trying to reach for a GCI.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Sarah, what's your goals?
Really just to like keep learning about this, like real estate, and just like dive into it more
Okay. Are you a full-time agent or a part-time agent?
full time.
Full time. All right. So, really, ideally for a full time agent, you're hitting the ground running. I'd like to see you between 10 and 15. I think that's definitely doable. One per month, almost two a month. With the volume of leads that we have, you should be able to work through that. So we'll put on here for 10 for now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Kayla, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you. So what is your goal for the year?
My goal is to at least have 10.
Okay. Very nice. Cielo, how are you?
Hi, how you doing? You-
Wonderful, thank you.
Good. I want to close 2 deals a month minimum. So I want to do at least 24 closed transactions.
Perfect. All right. Well on your way. I know you're a go-getter, so I think you'll definitely get there.
Oh, I'm trying.
Alrighty, let's see. And I'm probably gonna mess up the name, so help me here. Is it Oraldini?
Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
And I think you go by OJ, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can handle OJ. Very good. So what's your goals for the year, OJ?
Goals for the year for one is to get a closing and potentially get about 20 closings by the end of the year.
Okay. And you're a full-time agent?
At the moment, yes. Well,
Okay.
yes.
Yes. I like it. All right, very good. And then let's see, we've got 2 others. Oh, Moises?
I would like to close 12.
All right.
And you got me, Angel. How you doing? It's Hector. I'm
Oh,
on the
perfect.
phone.
Hector, how are you?
Good. My goal is to do at least between 8 and 10 this year.
Okay. 10 it is.
Yep.
And then that was 12 for Moises. All right, perfect. So I think I got everybody. So the whole point of that is I'd like to kind of talk through that for a second and talk about how we're going to get there, right? So the whole point of this call is accountability. It's my job. My goal is to help you reach your goals. And that's the goal of the team, is to help everyone reach where their potential can be. So with that being said, I want to talk about how we're going to get there. What's the action plan behind it? So obviously we want to just get as many leads as possible, right? That's always the goal. But truly, how do we focus on getting to that number, right? So as far as developing a plan, I would say that the most effective thing that we can do is talk about how we spend our time as agents. Okay. So if we're a full-time agent, let's just say the first part of your day should be spent lead generating. Do we all, and you guys can use a thumbs up, do we all know how to get to the lead pool? Just give me a thumbs up if you can.
I'm not aware of how to do so.
Okay. So after the call, I'm going to have Dana reach out to you and make sure you're set up on the lead pool, and she'll show you how to get there. That is a pool of leads that we have for agents, especially like yourself, brand new. Some are new, some are old, and there's just a list of clients in there that have reached out at one point in time, and that conversation is super easy. Hey, OJ, you requested some information a while back on 123 Main Street. Just wanted to see where you're at with your search. Are you still searching, or are you kind of on hold? What's your current situation? How can I help? Right. And that conversation will open the doors. That's option number 1. Number 2 is everyone should be checking the WhatsApp group for their locations. So the ISA that we have, her name is gosh, her name's escaping me. Jean. So her name is Jean, and she literally is just going through the lead pool, making calls, and going through every single lead that we have, expireds, you name it, she's calling it. And if she has an appointment set up, they will be in that group chat. Okay. So the point of that call is that they're basically going to be a teed up phone call appointment. So if I have an appointment at 12 o'clock today, it would be, hey, Kayla, this is Angel. You spoke to my assistant, Jean. She said that you had some interest in potentially looking at some properties, or she said you had some interest in starting your search. So tell me exactly how I can help. And then you just start that conversation, right? Those are how the appointments should go. They are not appointments to show houses. They are appointments for conversations. So you can initiate that conversation again with the client. Okay. So that's the second avenue. Now we're adding another ISA. They're going to be starting with us tomorrow. And so you'll see his name and we'll introduce him to the group. So we have 2 ISAs that essentially are calling over 300 calls a day. So their goals are just to go in there and make as many calls as possible and set appointments. Okay. So you've got leads from the team. You've got the lead pool. You've got the ISA. Also, you guys have to be on the lookout for the real-time touring leads. So those are through the Zillow system. Are we all familiar with real-time touring? We should all be familiar with that. So basically they're hit or miss, right? Some clients, they schedule the appointment, they show up, they're great leads, or sometimes they schedule the appointment, they never answer the phone, right? So it is what it is. This is a contact sport, guys. And so you're going to have clients that don't answer the call. They request information and then they flake out on you or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. This is just part of the game. Okay. So every single lead, we talked to Sarah this morning a little bit about the life cycle of a lead. As soon as we get that lead, we're calling and we're attacking that lead in the first minute to 3 minutes. That's the most critical and pivotal time to talk to a lead, right? So that's when they're hot and ready, they want to go, they're interested, and those conversations flow, right away. And so some of the clients that you will meet have agents, had an agent. I mean, let's be honest, everybody knows an agent nowadays, right? So how are we going to stand out? That's for you to determine what's going to set you apart. Okay. So we've got the ISA, we've got real-time touring, we've got the other leads. Also, we're going to be adding Redfin to your locations as well, which is a third-party service that will send leads our way. We're working on getting that set up initially for Florida first, and then we'll be rolling out to the other locations. I see the face yellow. It's coming. All right. So that we have those as well. And then from there, it's all about self-production, right? So what are we doing to generate business otherwise? So I can tell you how I run my business, and hopefully this is helpful for you. So for me, I lead generate. I'm a morning person. So I lead generate every day in the morning. Okay. So I lead generate between, if I don't have any like 4 to 5 group calls, I lead generate from 8 to 11. I'm calling expireds. I'm calling for sale by owners. I'm calling past clients and everything like that. Hold on one second. Sorry, my son's calling. Okay, so I'm making those calls every single morning, and then I have appointments every single day, right? So I'm scheduling those appointments. My time blocking is typically from 11 to 2 is when I do my appointments. And then if I don't have appointments that day, I just continue to make phone calls, right? So a lot of us get into this industry and we think it's going to be like this glamorous thing where we just, we start real estate and everyone's just going to call us because they know us. And that's just not the case. It actually takes a lot of grit and persistence. And you have to know that at the end of the day, sometimes it's just going to be one of those things that you have to work at it and you're going to have to take a lot of no's. Okay. So it is definitely one of those things that persistence pays off. Okay. So we've talked about the lead generation stuff. There is always more than one way to get a lead, right? And so I just want to just pick on one of you guys, each one at a time, and tell me like, what is the plan for each one of you that you maybe put together in your mind? Like, hey, I'm going to start here and we can talk through that and work through those as a group. So OJ, you popped into the top left corner of my eyes here. So I'll go first with you. So what is the plan for you lead wise? Where are you going to get business?
Well, for one, my goal this year was, of course, to use the leads that you guys give us, and I wanted to also circle prospect and cold call. I wanted to dial down on the cold calling. I've started dialing already. I just need to practice, of course, which I've been using the mock calls to do. And yeah, I think that should, as of right now, that's my strategy, to use the leads that you guys have and as well as cold call, getting them on.
Okay. So when it comes to the cold calling, I love to hear that. I mean, that's my super strength, and it's just persistence and it's repetition. You should be planning your script and everything like that. Before you jump into the expireds and for sale by owners, I would tell you, definitely have your script and be prepared to talk about the process, right? And be able to identify what sets you apart from other agents, because the expired calls and for sale by owners, they are definitely one that they get hit a lot. And so when you get them on the phone, you've got like 30 seconds to give them your elevator speech. And after that, you may lose them. So you want to make sure you're definitely prepared for that. But I do have expired, so I will put out a list. I'll start doing like a weekly list, and I'll put them on like an Excel spreadsheet, and you guys can have access and rip through them. Also, I can put them in Follow Up Boss, so I can work on that. and I'll create a separate lead pool for expireds.
And real quick, do we have a pool of properties that's closed? Like, say, for example, someone closed on a property and I would like to circle prospect the neighborhood. Is there a list of properties that's been sold a month or something like that?
We don't have. I do have circle prospecting as an option, but it's through my Mojo dialer. So I would say if you're looking at, if you need a list, I can, like, you can tell me the property and then I can search and get you that information. So yes, that, I guess, would be the best answer is to give you is I can get you a list if you give me a property. So if you look at our Zillow site for the Winter Haven team, you can take a look at all the solds there, and then you can identify and say, hey, these leads are, or I'm sorry, you can say, hey, this listing is in this area. I can pull up the circle prospecting list and you can call from there.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Cielo, where are you looking at targeting some of your business? Oh, you're on mute.
So a lot of them I'm doing FSBOs and also expired listings. But my FSBOs, I'm doing a little bit of a different tactic. I don't know if you want me to say how I'm doing that.
Sure. Yeah. If you don't
And
mind
actually,
sharing.
no, I don't mind sharing. So there is this way that you can actually call the FSBOs and ask them if you could help them by actually putting their or their contact number on the lead photo that they have on Zillow. And because usually, how many times do we get those calls for FSBOs, and we're trying to get those, and people are like, no, I just want the owner. And then you actually captured with another system that I have, and usually you say to them, like, listen, I don't need to collect any any commission on it. And they're like, well, why would you do it? I said, because only one person's going to buy your property, and I want to collect those buyers. And so you collect those buyers by providing the service to the sellers, and half the time they'll let you do this. And then so that's kind of what I'm trying to do, capture like that. And then the other thing I'm doing is I'm borrowing listings. I know that that's something that I'm doing it with my team. I've been trying to do it, but I haven't made time for it, but I'm allocating time to borrow listings and list them myself on social media. And then the other thing I'm doing is working with a lot of investors. I work with a lot of investors, but trying to teach or speak opportunities where I teach passive income to people. They're very interested in it, but they're very kind of cautious about it. And I had a real great success story with a client that was referred to me. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Hello? Angel, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I was just chatting away. I said I love to hear that you're having those conversations with the for sale by owners, and that you're willing to come from a place of good and say, hey, I'm not trying to get your business here, but I'd love to be able to help you and get those buyers in front of you. And so, being able to coordinate that, I think that's awesome. I love to hear that. So obviously be prepared for some pushback, and they may say like, hey, I only want to do it myself, or whatever the case may be. But I think that a for sale by owner will definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, you can, and then like in the system, you can actually offer to take the calls for them and say, hey, listen, it's in my benefit to give it to you. So usually the calls that I've had I've tried it in the past and just kind of fell off of it for other priorities. But usually you can enchant them into like, hey, you're getting an agent for free. Why wouldn't you do this? With my experience. And so, and at that time they end up being very appreciative of it. And then sometimes you can even turn them into listings for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I would always ask for the appointment too. So just to add to that, I would say, hey, I'm not looking to secure your listing or anything like that, but I'd love to be able to see it. And I think once you're face to face, like, you're just going to kill them with kindness, and you might actually get that listing. So I would say, just to add to that, is just maybe.
Well, and I'll
for the
tell you
appointment.
this, Angel. The other thing is like if I do see the potential, I can up it to go and taking photographs for them And then I've been pushing this system that my son has a startup where you can take tour videos with just the photos. And I can put it on the chat if you guys want to check out that. Like literally, it's a tour. And I like any client that I've provided that for goes crazy over it because it's just the photos. You don't have to pay for anything. If you take the photos yourself, this is an AI program that does the tours, and FSBOs go crazy for it. So that's where I'm like really trying to kill it.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely share that. I love this. Hopefully you guys are all taking notes and trying to do this stuff yourself as well. So
Yeah, let me
Cielo
send.
is trying to go above and beyond and not just rely on the business. So you guys have some pretty aggressive goals, right? Sean's got 25 to 30. And so sometimes the team leads aren't going to be enough, right? So we have to be able to supplement and add to that, right? And listings are the best way to supplement your business, and they are like passive leads, right? Because once you list them, you don't have to spend as much time nurturing them. Hopefully you're doing your follow-ups with them weekly and giving them updates, but you're not showing the properties all the time, which buys up most of our time. So definitely love to hear that you guys are working on getting some of those listings as well. So Cielo, please share any of that in the group chat. We would
I
appreciate
am. I'm typing it up right now because it also offers very cheap virtual staging. And right now, because it's a startup for him, for my son, it's super cheap. And I'll give some free aways if you guys want to reach out to me and just want to try it for free. But anybody has any questions on this stuff, I really think that we can kill it.
Love it. I love to hear it. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Perfect. I think it's Hector with the 321 number. So Hector, what are you working on, or what is your plan to tackle to add some supplemental business to your business?
Definitely the lead generation part. Last year I wasn't really active on it, and just getting more active with the lead generation and making the calls,
Okay.
possibly doing some open houses.
Yes. And so the key to the
Pretty
open
much.
houses is consistency there. So I think that's a great starter for a brand new agent is pick a listing, high traffic area, looks good, shows good, smells good. That way it's a desirable listing, and being able to get out there and market yourself. Your office has signs. We have signs for you guys as well. But that's a great way. And the consistency there, or the goal there, is to have that consistently done twice a week initially. So once to twice a week. So I would just put it on your
Yeah.
calendar, like, hey, I'm going to do it. And it doesn't have to be a weekend. It could be a Wednesday night, 3:00 when the kids are out of school on an early day, whatever the case may be. But I would just add that on a consistent basis, and you'll start to see a lot of progress from that. We had an agent, I think it was Pamela Pagan. She had probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 closings from open houses, and that was her super strength, right? And those are great because those are not considered team leads, and so obviously your guys' splits are a lot more favorable for those, which means more money in your pocket at the end of the day. So I love to hear that. Nice work. Vincent, welcome to the party. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. How about you guys? Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year. So we were just talking about, I know you just jumped in. So we're talking about where we're getting our business and what our plan is to attack besides the team leads and everything like that. So is there something that you're focused on? I know you like to work with investors and whatnot. What is the game plan for you?
A lot of social media. Also a lot of referral based, calling up clients to see if they have somebody who might be interested in the house, things of that nature. Working old
Okay.
leads, stuff like that right now.
All right. So let's talk about the past clients. That's a great avenue. Actually, before we go there, let's talk about social media. Social media is a huge avenue. I personally don't do social media, but I know it's a big missing piece of business that I need to do. And so my goal is one of those is to do social media, but you guys should be tagging and adding your social posts and give it to Haley as well, because she's also putting that out there and she's looking for more content as well. And she'll be reaching out to a lot of you guys in general to do some agent interviews. We're going to start putting those on the different sites as well. So social's huge. Make sure you're adding Haley to that. Our website is almost off the ground, so we're just going through a couple tweaks, and so we'll have our website. So everything will be able to tie back to our website. So you guys will have that as some marketing as well. Now going back to past clients. So let's say I'm a past client of yours. What's your plan of attack? What's the strategy there?
First of all, I try to talk to them, see how things are going with the house. Because if everything's going good, better chance of referral. As long as everything's going good, I ask them like, how's family? Do you have anybody who's coming down? Things of that nature, just to engage and see. Right now I have one that I sold the house last year. He hit me up in December. But hey, I got a friend coming down. I'm like, oh really? Thanks for letting me know. Keep me informed, things of that nature. So stuff like that right now. I'm not too good at it, but it works so far.
Okay, so let's add another layer to that. I love to hear that you're tackling that. So my strategy for past clients is every Thursday I call them, and I just start at the top and work my way all the way down, right? So I've got several hundred clients I have to work through, but I keep them on a short list and I make calls every single Thursday. And so obviously it gets hard to be able to call and just say, hi, how you doing? But what I do is I will just call and talk to them and ask them if they have any vendors for me. I'm always looking for good new vendors, whether it's a handyman, electrician, a tax accountant. So tell me, Vincent, do you have anybody that you've worked with that you think would be a good fit for myself or my clients, like any one of those type of vendors? And it's just another way to keep that dialogue going, because the conversations get a little stale, right? And so we want to be able to provide some value for our other clients, but also, having that extra vendor where if you get a handyman, you get an electrician, a plumber, those are hard to come by. And so those referrals will definitely be a great conversation starter. So that's something else that I've been doing. And then once I get that vendor, I call them and introduce myself and say, hey, Vince, I got your information from Joe Schmo, and he said that you're really good at, electrical, and I want to let you know I'm an agent. I'm super busy all the time. I'll definitely be utilizing your business. And then you're creating that partnership and hopefully creating a referral vendor for that, right? So any kind of vendor that you have, an electrician, a tax accountant, they should be referring you business. So that relationship should be symbiotic, right? So
Okay.
you can
That's
take
nice.
that. You can take that relationship that you have with a past client, and that can turn into 3 new relationships without asking directly for that referral. That makes sense?
That makes perfect sense because most of the time I'm just really talking to them about like race and stuff like that. Trying to keep it light. So I can add that to my chamber, and that'd be fantastic. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. Also, you can talk about what's going on in the marketplace, right? So that's your super strength as an agent. You have access to information they do not. So hopefully when you're making your past client calls, you can say, hey, Vince, listen, I just wanted to reach out to you. There was a property that sold across the street. It sold for, $350,000. I thought you'd like to know. So, hey, by the way, how's everything, right? So just another caveat to that. Or we can use what's called the Zestimate reach out. And so what you can do is you can take a screenshot of their property, and it'll say like, oh, it's 300,000. You can say, hey, this is the latest estimate for your property. I have my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Let's jump on a call and talk about it, right? And so, like, let's say that Zestimate is wrong. You can say, hey, here's why it's wrong, and here's the details. Da 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 da. Your property value is this. If it's high enough and they've got lots of equity, you can say, have you ever thought about tapping into that equity and buying another property, right? So Cielo brought up a great point, passive income, right? So we should be teaching our clients how to build wealth through passive income, through, buying properties, selling properties. And so they have a lot of equity, and you're triggering that conversation or that thought through that Zestimate. That could be a great way to have that conversation that turns into, hey, a listing, or, hey, I'm not ready to sell, but give me 6 months, or whatever the case may be. Or, hey, listen, you got tons of equity, and maybe you know somebody else in the neighborhood that's looking to get, an idea of what their equity is that may be interested in selling, and, you can continue that conversation for referrals. So there's more than one way to skin a cat there. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
All right, perfect. So you guys are getting a lot of tools to the tool belt. So it doesn't just have to be that dry conversation with the client. There's lots of value that we add as agents besides just opening doors, right? Passive income, wealth building, the equity portion. Do they need any handymen? Do they need vendors? Do they need how many of you guys have a financial planner that you can suggest, right? How many of you have a tax accountant? How many of you have a handyman, electrician? Like, how many of you have good vendors that you can say, hey, this is my guy, this is my gal. You have to call them, and here's why. You guys should have that in your repertoire, right? You should have that in your Rolodex so you can have, some extra value for your clients. All right. Perfect. Thanks, Vince. Sean, you've got lots of listings. You have a good game plan for the year. So please share what's your game plan on outside of the team referrals or team leads. What's your source of business?
Just being consistent with my lead generation. I do have 4 different coaches too that I coach with on a daily basis. So holding myself accountability, but it's just being consistent with lead generation, following up with my past clients, asking them for referrals, reaching out to my vendors, also events, and being in the office more than any other agent in my office, being around other agents. So
okay. So what does being in the office do for you?
it puts you in a different mindset. No more distractions. I just get more work done when I'm in the office.
Love it. So you're more effective that way. I like that.
Yeah, it's just more conversations. You hear other people talking. I talk about maybe some of my situations where someone else can help. So it's a great atmosphere to be in, especially in my office in Southwest and Dr. Phillips.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also some competitiveness there too, right? Where it's like, hey,
absolutely.
I want to be in the office. I want, to be recognized as the top agent in the office. And so, my goal this year is I want to be the number 1 agent in the office. I was number 3. And so I want to be able to tackle and beat Kathy in my office, right? So that's my goal. So I'm with you on that one. I like to hear that. You mentioned something that I wanted to chat through, which are events. Yes. So what kind of events are you doing? And then I want to talk through that.
I personally don't do any events. I tried to do a broker's open on one of the largest homes here in North America, the Seagulls here in Orlando, but it just didn't happen to work out. But I go to a lot of events. So that's just, if there's an event happening, I go to it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So if you have, and this is just a general, comment for everybody, if you have a huge database, if you have a huge client, past client list, or whatever the case may be, a huge following on social, whatever, you can do events, right? It could be something as small as a book bag drive for kids at school. It could be a teacher appreciation event, right? Where you're buying, goodies for the teachers. You're going in, giving them little tchotchkes, and you're doing, a home buying course or something like that. There was going to in the Orlando area, and we're doing home buyer consultations or home buyer. That could be a good thing. Also, when you have other vendors in your list, a financial planner, a tax accountant, you can partner with them to do these events, and they'll be a good partner with you, and then obviously split the cost. Those are great events. We have good partnerships with lenders, right? So local and national, they'll be willing to partner with you. They can't always spend money on advertising, but they can help you with events, open houses. So leverage some of that. If you need, some vendors for your local area, let me know. Especially Orlando market, I can definitely help. Jacksonville, I've got a couple vendors as well. So, leverage those partnerships that you have, but networking events are great as well. So there's definitely lots of opportunity here. And so you're seeing the common theme here, guys, is that there's more than one way to get business, and it doesn't just have to be the team leads. It could be, all these different various ways. So it's definitely one of those things when you guys have large goals like this, 10, 12, 20, 25, we really got to get after it. And so where I see most agents struggle is consistency with their day-to-day operations, right? So if we are in this business, at the end of the day, you're a salesperson, right? And so what's the number one tool a salesperson has is your phone. You got 2 options to use it. You can go on your phone, you can scroll, or you can go on your phone and start calling your clients. And that's the biggest thing that I see where agents are doing, 3, 4, 5 deals a year versus 10, 12, 20 deals a year is it's the day-to-day, right? And so I think if you guys can focus on just making sure you have the best day after day, 5 to 6 days a week, you will see your business explode. And so hopefully you guys are putting together a plan. Let's see if we have some more time. I'm going to just do 2 more people. Go ahead.
Angel, I have a question. When calling these leads, how do I check? I know it says the Florida Do Not Call registry, but how do I check? When I went to the website, I don't really see where I can put a number in to check
Which leads are you
If
talking
they're
about?
on the do any lead, anybody, anyone that
Oh,
I'm trying to reach
yeah,
out
yeah.
to, how can I check?
Angel, can I answer that question? I've been there before.
Yep.
You just call him. Just call him.
So
call
there,
And that won't violate.
let me
No,
put a
just
little
call them.
asterisk on that. So if those leads are in our database, in our lead pool, they have requested information. The do not call list doesn't apply. Now, when you get
Okay.
into expireds for sale by owners and stuff like that, when you're going through these platforms, your Landboys, your Mojos, it will scrub the do not call list for you. So if you're like, hey, give me a list of this zip code, all the expireds, I'll send you the list. It'll be a clean list, so you don't have to worry about that. But I
Okay.
wouldn't,
Gotcha.
I know in our lead pool, I wouldn't be going and checking the DNC list all the time because they've already requested information. They've opted in at that point.
Okay.
And if they do give you a hard time, call them, obviously, like Vince said. But if they give you a hard time, all you have to say is, hey, listen, at some point in time, you requested information. And as a representation or as a representative of Zillow or whatever lead source they are, we're just doing our job to make sure that you're having the best experience possible and you're getting the information that you requested. You
All
won't
right.
get too much pushback. You might get hung up on whatever the case may be, but you'll power through that.
All right.
All right, perfect. All right, let's see. Rocky, I haven't called on you yet. So I know you had a plan to do maybe some open houses and whatnot. So tell me, what is your avenue of some extra business that you're going to try to target this year?
Hi, good morning. So my plan, of course I'm gonna do open houses. Right now I'm planning on doing open houses every Saturday and every Sunday. Sundays after church. I am gonna do some volunteer work. I'm gonna go to events, and I'm mainly working on branding myself and just being out there. Like I'm not gonna share what I will be doing, but you'll probably see me once I start doing it, because on Fridays it's going to be my days to prospect, and my way of prospecting that I have planned, I think it will work. We'll see. You won't know until you try. So I really think it'll work. The idea that I have, so that's what I'm going with.
Okay. Well, I can tell you any idea that you have, and this is for everybody in the team, any ideas that you have, anything that you plan on doing, it's the consistency, right? That's going to make you successful. So if we try it once and it doesn't succeed and we never do it again, we'll never really know. But you have to fail so many times before it really blossoms into something special. So just stay diligent and consistent on it. And I hope that it opens up for you and it does really well. I will tell you, I think we're poised this year for a huge bounce back year. Last year, interest rates, we had the election, we had so much different things going on. Was it election this year? No, I'm sorry. Anyway, political landscape, whatever you want to call it. There's just lots of noise out there, right? Lots of detractors. This year, interest rates will probably go down once or twice. And so I think we're really poised for a huge year. And so what you do from this point forward, moving through February, March, will dictate how successful you're going to be. Like the most important, impactful moment this year is January and February. That will set you up for the spring. And then how you treat your summer, May, June, will be how well you do for the rest of the year. So it's critical that we get started now. And, I think the most important thing that we have to know is that the point of these calls is accountability, right? And so you guys are giving me this information that you're going to be doing. So on next week's call, we're going to be talking about, hey, what did you do and what did you tackle from your list, right? And so we want to make sure that we're showing up and we're doing what we say we're going to do.
I will say too, Angel, the only other thing, like, it's good that I'm on the team, right? And you guys give me leads. But if you're not out in the public, besides social media, how else are you going to be seen? How else are you going to, like, people know, like, hey, this is what she does, without you're asking questions, you're just talking to people. And I think that right there is a big key, like being out and being able to talk to people. Like me, I'll go up to anybody. Like, go up to them, ask them a question, like whether they bought before, whether they're looking to buy, start the question. And that's part of my plan right there. So I'll leave you with that.
Okay. I like it. So obviously branding is huge, right? And so, hopefully there's different ways that you can go about it. You can wear your name tag, which is the old way to do it. You can wear shirts and hats and stuff like that that have your name on it, phone number. You can brand your car. Branding is one way, that's for awareness, but if you want to initiate those conversations, it does really take a little bit of effort to kind of proceed, and that outreach is going to be important. Also, if you ever have anybody ask you how the market is, that's a telltale sign that they may have some interest in real estate. So hopefully you're taking that and not saying like, hey, it's great, or hey, I'm busy, and actually, hey, why do you ask? What part of the market are you interested in, right? And trying to unpack that. Is it the rental market? Is it the buying, selling side? Is it investment? What is it? So you want to be able to unpack that, which we'll save for another time. Let me see if I tackled everybody here. Let's go to Sharon. Sharon, what's your plan for the year?
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year, everybody.
Morning.
Actually, there was so many good ideas here, but you said it. It's consistency, right? I mean, I started in mid-October, and I realized coming into this year that I just need to be consistent. Like I need to have a really defined schedule, like you said, like Thursdays, follow up on your leads. But the other thing, and Rocky said it, is conversations. It's conversations lead to conversions. So how do I get myself out there? And social media is going to be a big part. I just recently created, Instagram and Facebook business pages. So my goal is to do more lead generation or just contacts through those avenues or platforms.
Beautiful. It's high repetition, lots of conversations. I hope that these ideas that we all have are valuable for you, so you can, we're on a team, right? So you can share, we can steal somebody else's idea and make it our own. That's why we always like to collaborate. So I love to hear that you're open and you're trying to get, the next part of that business. I think social's huge. Make sure you tag Haley on that.
Yeah.
Our social media is really starting to take off. I think we've gotten, I want to say like 1,000 followers or something crazy on Instagram. YouTube's been a little bit slower. So we're still working on that. We'll probably start paying for some advertisement on there, but Facebook is definitely blowing up. I think we've reached a higher level tier as far as that goes. So keep tagging away, because it's exposure, right? So if we have 1,000 followers, that's 1,000 extra people, and it gets liked. It grows from there. I think we want to make sure that we're making good posts as well. So, I think what people want right now in this moment is they want that behind the scenes look, whether it's open houses, virtual tours or something like that. I know a lot of people like to do some silly stuff on there as well. It's not my forte. So if you do, make it fun and make it spontaneous, and hopefully it works for you. But just try to put out some good content, but you don't know until you try it at the end of the day. So also one other thing that you can do, it's called newsjacking. And so this is something that you can do like on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. Take something that's happening in a hyper local area. So let's say Dr. Phillips is having a new hotel being built or a new restaurant that comes out. You having that insider, hey, this is a new restaurant that's coming out, check it out. That will help you build your audience there, right? So just getting a little bit of some new stuff that's going on. Downtown Orlando has some new growth stuff going on. So there's a couple agents that are building, drone sites and stuff like that, and videos and whatnot. So there's always different ways that you could add to your social.
That's good.
All right, perfect. So I think we covered pretty much everybody. So on next week's call, I'm going to talk about with you guys, hey, what did you do to tackle some of these things on your list? And what did you do to start hitting your goals? And so we're going to get super hyper focused. Remember that our call goals are always 60 calls a week. We're looking to set 4 or 5 appointments a week, and we're looking at adding 2 to 3 new leads per week, right? So if we're doing those things, we should be well above our goals. And so just like you guys, I have huge goals as well. My goals are actually pretty large this year. I'm looking at selling 50 properties this year. So it's go time for me as well. And so hopefully you guys can hold me accountable. If I'm not getting my calls, you can hold me accountable to it as well. Okay. So I'll let you guys go for the day. But I love to hear the plans. Tackle the week. It's Monday. There's lots of time to make up for you know, this year now. So start hitting your call list, hitting your past clients, and get after it. Okay.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you so much, bro.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you,
Have a
thank
great day. OJ, I'll have
Thank
Dana
you.
reach out to you.
All right, thank you. I'm actually gonna head out to a showing in a few minutes. Is it possible I give her a call?
Yeah, just call her. That's fine.
And it's Dana, correct? Or
Yes, Dana will be your go-to for that.
okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You bet. Good luck. Have a great week.
Okay.
Bye, guys.